Can money buy you happiness? That's the question today. So, The Economist reports that recent studies show that the Easterlin paradox may not indeed be correct. The Easterlin paradox, for those who don't know, which I didn't, states that high incomes do correlate with happiness, but long-term, increased income doesn't correlate with increased happiness. So this is basically saying that if you are earning more money, you're happy, but over the long period of time, the happiness wears off and you don't stay happy. I think most of us would probably agree with that. However, a recent study by economists at the University of Michigan suggests that this may not necessarily be true. When given a scale of 1 to 10 on how satisfied people are with their lives, results showed that people who earned more generally rated themselves happier. So, does this mean that the Eastern paradox is in fact incorrect? So, this means money can buy you happiness, it would seem. Well, money can certainly buy you things that make you happy, that's for sure. But whether that happiness lasts, that's another question. So let's look at this, but let's ignore the extreme ends of the scale. I just want to focus on the general multitude of the public in Jersey here. So we'll ignore the extremely rich because, firstly, I don't think anyone gives a crap whether they're happy or not because they've got more money than us. So, the second thing, let's ignore the extremely poor because I think that stands to reason that they are going to be happier with more money because they're extremely poor. Doesn't necessarily mean they're unhappy, however, but probably would be happier with money. But we're not going to look into that because that's a whole different philosophical conversation for another time. So, for the average person, does money make you happier? Well, I would argue that it doesn't. And let me explain why. And firstly, I'd just like to clarify, I'm not some sort of hippie communist before anyone jumps to that conclusion. Not at all. I think capitalism is a good thing. I don't think it works perfectly, but I think it's the best model we've got. And I think we should stick with it for the time being. However, these are the reasons I don't think money can buy you happiness. Firstly, as with most things in life, the prospect or the excitement or the idea of having that thing far outweighs the happiness you get from actually having it. And what do I mean by that? Well, how many times have you walked into Jersey Telecoms and you've looked at the new phones that they have for sale, the new fandangled iPhone or whatever it might be, and everyone's raving about it, everyone's got it, it's the best thing since sliced bread and it will make you a cup of tea if you push the right buttons, it does everything. I want it. You get it, and within a few weeks, you're just doing the same thing on it that you were doing with your phone before. You're just texting your friends, phoning people, and looking at Facebook and playing Angry Birds or whatever it is you do. You're not doing anything new with it, but you still went out and spent all of this money to get it. A new car. I'm the world's worst, right? If I look at car websites, I start drooling at the prospect of owning some of these cars. And a few years ago, I did go out and buy quite an expensive car, well, relative to my income. And I thought, oh, I love this car. I'm going to drive it until the wheels fall off. I'm going to drive everywhere. I love it. I'm not going to let anyone wear dirty shoes in my car. I'm not going to let people drink a can of Coke in my car. I'm going to let people smoke in my car, eat in my car. Don't even breathe in my car. I want it to stay immaculate. And within a few weeks, that all goes out the window, and you're back to just realising that actually you're still sitting behind the steering wheel, looking at the bumper of the car in front, whilst you're waiting to get down Montmilley at the traffic lights or whatever. Trying to find a space, trying to insure it, petrol in it, and stuff like that. It's just a car at the end of the day, and you just start treating it like a car. Christmas as a child, how exciting was that? And it wasn't about whether you were getting the certain pair of rollerblades that you wanted or the new toy that everyone had. It wasn't that. It was the prospect that you were getting something you didn't necessarily know what it was, or even if you did know what it was, you didn't have it yet. And the prospect that on Christmas Day you were going to get that thing, that was amazing, and you were so excited about it. But within a few weeks, that cupboard that had held the presents for all year hidden away from you is now full up with the presents, just not in wrappers anymore because you're not using it and they're just chucked back in there. So I think the excitement about having something, or the idea, the prospect, is much more exciting than actually having it. Secondly, we're all human. And what I mean by that is that regardless of whether you have enough money, you will always want more. You will always want more. And when I say enough money, I mean, have you got enough money? You don't need any more money. But we want it. We always want it. And this is because since the first day of school, since the first time you stepped into school till the day you retire, the emphasis is always about money. Get a good education so you can get a good job. Once you've got that job, you need to work hard. You need to work your way up so that you can get more money. You need to invest that money. You need to save that money so you can make more and more money. It's all about money. Money is the life force of modern society. Money equals safety and security, a roof over our heads, food on our table, clothes, cars, holidays, recreation, everything. Our love for wealth is so ingrained, we even spend money to advertise other companies by wearing their labels just so we can announce to the world that we could afford that label to start with. When you look at it, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely mad. I'm paying a premium to advertise your product. I mean, what, shouldn't I be getting a discount for that? It's ludicrous, but we do it. We do it because we know that everyone else is going to see, oh look, he's got Burberry on, or he's got Armani or whatever, and people want to show off that they can afford this stuff. Then my other point is, the more money you have, the more problems you get. And as we earn more, we spend more. Usually, well, I say usually, depending on how much you're earning, I suppose. But I think for the average person, we probably look at it and think, I can spend more on credit now. Yeah, credit has become a massive part of our lives now. Everyone's got credit cards and loans and store cards and all this sort of thing, right? So you think, okay, I'm earning more money now. I've just got a promotion. I haven't actually earned any of that money yet. However, I've been told I'm going to earn it. Therefore, I can afford to spend a bit more money. I can afford that higher payments on a nicer car. I can afford a bigger mortgage. I can afford to go on a better holiday and spend on my credit card because I know I'll be able to pay it off. So we end up, okay, yeah, I've now got more money. However, the ratio of money in to money out is still the same. I'm still earning 100% and spending 80% and maybe putting 20% away if you're lucky. I was doing that before and I'm doing that now. So yes, okay, in the meantime, I've managed to acquire these nicer things. I'm living in a nicer house. I'm driving a nicer car. As I've mentioned before, those things wear off. They don't stay forever. After a while, you become accustomed to it, as does anyone. So what you're left with, in the long term, is the same ratio of money in to money out, and the same problems that come along with that. That as soon as an unexpected bill comes along, or something happens where it disrupts that ratio of money in to money out, you've got a problem. And it's just the same as you had before. Your car breaks down, it's now twice as expensive to fix because it's a more expensive car. You can't afford it, it's not the norm. You haven't got the monthly payments organised for that sort of thing. You need to go and dip into the rainy day fund if you've got one. If you haven't, you need to go and get a loan. It's the same problems that you had before. So unless you're earning enough money to say, I don't need any more, I don't want any more, and I don't, thank you for the promotion, I don't need it. Thank you for the bonus, I don't need it, I'll give it back, give it to someone who needs it. Which never happens. Has anyone ever said that? Other than the people who are in the spotlight for doing something dirty, like these CEOs who have been fiddling the banking crisis and all that sort of thing, gave some bonuses back. But generally speaking, it never happens. So unless you can achieve that, then money will never really buy you long-term happiness. It will just replace problems with different problems, I think. I think also there's a flaw in this whole survey, because I find when it comes to asking human beings questions about their life, it's kind of like quantum physics, right? That as soon as you start looking at the problem, you change the outcome. And the reason I say that is because as soon as you're going to ask someone, if I just go up to you in the street and just say, "Are you happy today?" Your answer could be one of two things. Yeah, I'm happy. You know, the sun's shining. I've got my health. It's a nice day. I've just had a lovely coffee, and I'm walking to work. I'm fairly happy. If I ask you in the context of, "Are you happy and how much money do you earn?" you then know that I'm asking you because I'm trying to somehow tie the two together. Now, most people will want to imply that they don't earn enough money, regardless of how much money they do earn, because they'll want to think, I'm worth more. They'll either want to imply they're worth more, or they won't want to brag about how much money they do earn, so they'll play it down. And I think there's whenever you ask a human being a question like that, there's always something going on in the back of their mind that says, why are you asking me this question? What is your intention to do with the information afterwards? And how does that information affect me? And therefore, I'll change my answer accordingly. That's my thoughts. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know. But that's what I think. So, that's my thoughts on the subject. I don't know if you guys agree, disagree. Perhaps leave some comments and tell me your thoughts. Can money buy you happiness, or are the best things in life free?